bringing in the new hires really want to feel that this job is completing them, that this job is part of their life work. And so they're asking a lot more from the company. You know, in the old days, I'm gonna sound like in the old days, you know, you would come in and you'd work and you weren't expecting this, you know, you would deliver and you're gonna compete. And now that you put in, no, I'm gonna put in the hours I need to do the job. You know, and I expect to get rewarded, and I expect to, so what, that this person's got 10 years, I'm better than them. The management of this is gonna be very important. I think the other big issue is gonna be teaching managers, because I spent a lot of time doing that. It's how do you treat people differently, but creating equality. And that's a big problem in corporate America today, is teaching people how to do that. Because in the past, it was simple. They were all white males, they all were married, they all had 2.5 children. You made one law, everybody agreed upon it. Now everybody's different. How do you create that equity, and how do you create people moving up? I think the better companies figure that out. And also, I think the better companies also can come back and go, when you know, it's never gonna change. Women were always gonna be having the kids, no matter what. Okay? You know, the reality is, who's gonna take the responsibility? There are more men now staying at home and being the caretaker. But also, the smart companies are being able to do job sharing. They're able to let that woman take that time off, but also still stay connected to the job by job sharing. So now 2 people are doing the same job as one. But now you've got 2 people that can create a pipeline for your future leadership.
Who are those smart companies? I'd love to know who's already doing that.
You know, General Mills has been doing that for a long time. If you go to Working Mother, that's a great place that you can get a lot of information about best in class companies. It's the companies that get, that you just can't say, okay, leave, and when you come back, we'll figure out a way to put you into the company again. But the key occurs is when that person that leaves and comes back and becomes a vice president. See, before they come back, they wouldn't make it to that top. Now that's occurring. So now people are saying, I can take some time off, be with my family, and still reach that.
But that goes back to identifying top talent as potential. I mean, that's, I think, the key. That individual is being proactive. So I want to be a VP.
Right.
Is connecting with the right individual in the company. It's empowerment. That person owns her own career. That, you know, we always say this. You want to move up, you own your own career. No one's going to manage you by yourself. So, any other remarks? I know we're kind of been out of time here, so I just want to.
Yes. Actually, if we have a panel, I'd be very curious to add to your point. I'd be curious in the panel, is it not only do you have a diverse workforce coming on board, but you also have the theory Xers, the theory Ys, you have your baby boomers, and so I'm curious from your organizations, what type of mentorship programs you have in place, because you're not only have a diverse workforce coming on board, but you have individuals like, as you mentioned earlier, you have that Y generation that's coming in that maybe is asking that question. I am better than that other person who's been waiting for the baby boomers to leave, that baby boomer's not leaving, so now you have a conflict. So what are you working in your corporations as far as that mentorship program to be able to keep that talent with your organizations and be able to allow them to go and grow your organization as well?
I think what's first and foremost is an education process, because I mean, if you look at my company, and I think this is something that's probably more unique to the aerospace industry than many other industries. The average age of our employee is around 50 years old. The average length of service of our employee is about 23 years. Okay, so you know there's a lot of deep-seated history there. And in my organization, the vast majority of our hiring over the last 5 years has been from the college campus. So about 60% of our new hires are directly from the college campus. And you've got this dynamic that you've got to deal with on many fronts. You know, these kids are coming in today, don't understand why they've got to spend 60 hours at the office or in their 6x6 cubicle, okay, just because the manager spends 60 hours in his or her 235 square feet. So what organizations have to do is recognize and develop a level of awareness, especially to these folks that have been around for the last 30 years, whose paradigm has always been, I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I get to the office at 6, and I don't leave until 9 at night, okay? We can't live with that any longer, nor successful entities that they are, then by sheer virtue of the fact that the demographics have changed, I think will cause them, and perhaps some organizations in a more forceful kind of a way than other organizations, to move in a direction that recognize the needs of these younger folk that are coming into the workplace.
You know, and then part of the issue is, you know, the numbers are showing that the new workforce is actually gonna have 8 jobs during their career. So think about that. That's at least every 4 to 5 years they're changing companies. The smart companies are going to create almost a different career within that company. Because they want more change, they want more growth, they're trying to figure out. I mean, this is the generation that had the helicopter parents. I mean, last year, I mean, there's parents coming to the company saying, I wanna see where they're gonna work. I wanna see who they're working for. I mean, and that's happening, and it's happening. I see people move there. It happens already. This these new kids that are coming on school have been so protected, so coddled, that they expect everything. And that's gonna be a major change that corporations have to figure out. You know, and the bar keeps getting put lower and lower of what's expected, and they expect more and more and more. So that is gonna be, I think, our biggest challenge, is how to integrate that generation with those, I wanna say almost entitlement, coming on board and figuring out how to make it work.
Well, I think the thing too is, you know, what we talked about is understanding the differences in how people expect something to be fulfilled, right? You know, everyone wants to be motivated. What actually motivates them? I think we need to pause and ask ourselves those questions more versus just throwing what we typically have done in the past at the answer. And again, that kind of goes to my point in terms of mentoring. You know, what is it that people are actually looking for in the mentor relationship? You know, what is the real purpose of creating that program or initiative? Many companies are creating reverse mentoring programs that address this, and they call it reverse mentoring because typically, right, the person who mentors people, you know, whether we say it or not, kind of expect them to be older than the person, you know, than the mentee. And I think what that does is allows us again to see, for someone to think, what's in it for me? What am I interested in? What is it that I need? And it also helps them, again, see that similarity that I keep bringing up, where you won't have as much infighting, right? It's more difficult to fight someone when you connect with them on a human level, you know, for whatever reason that is. And, you know, those are the real simple things, which is not simple to create, but those simple philosophies, I think, which are important for us to remember. We don't want to judge one versus the other, say you're wrong and I'm right, but really understand from what place they come to create those solutions. You know, and just really quickly to your point about job sharing, I know a lot of companies who do it who don't have an official program. Right, so for people who might have come, again, high-performing people who come and say, we have this idea, we put this together, you know, is this something we can think about? Because I would tell you, at Union Bank, we don't have an official job share program, but we have job sharing going on.
You know, I want to just kind of point out a couple different things. I think, and particularly, I think, given this audience, I know this is something that I see in the Asian community, but for even, I would suspect that this is probably somewhat true in the Latino community as well too, is that I think we get caught up into these terms of generations. So you're Gen Y, Gen X, you know, baby boomers, that kind of stuff, and therefore it comes within these particular traits and qualities that, you know, we're all supposed to slot into. But I think sometimes we forget that there's another nuance that I think we need to consider within, especially immigrant communities, and that's the generation by which